Okay. This will be an interesting one. It's a funny looking one. See if we can make it come up a treat. We're going to have to make a master copy for this. It's really small. It's smaller than... It's going to be a lot smaller than what this will make it. It won't fill the whole page first go. So we're just going to... Come on, Conica. We have to do a bit of background removal because it'll show up. The reverse of it will show up. And this one's a funny one. This one. I'm going to try and make this come up a treat. So we're going to make it fairly contrasty. Going to lighten it a bit. Okay, let's see how we go with this. Right, it's small, it's tiny. It says, Antler the Call. It's to do with alcohol. It's advertising on the back of what they call a Shop-a-docket, or something similar to a Shop-a-docket. I think a Shop-a-docket is the trade name for the original Shop-a-docket. Well, we're going to use that as our original. We're going to make something interesting out of it. So yeah, advertising on the back of dockets or receipts in supermarkets like Coles, and I think Woolies do it. And basically, yeah, that's what they do. They use advertising space. It's like everyone these days is putting advertising everywhere, and it really pisses me off. I hate the advertising wraparounds they do on buses. I really hate the way you got these horrible screens on the windows, and they look like prison screens. They look really ugly. You can see the bleed, the breakthrough there. But basically, I really hate those meshy ads that they have on buses, and it pisses me no end. I really have no respect for the people, the rich people, the corporate CEOs who put them on there, who commission them. I really fucking hate those bloody adverts. They can go fuck themselves, because I really hate not being able to see out the window. When I ride a bus, I like to see out the window and enjoy the ride. I don't want my vision impaired by those fucking screens, those grills that they put on, which have basically the advertising material on the outside of them. You can just see out the window, but it's all dark and gloomy, and when it rains and you're trying to see, if you happen to get on a bus and you haven't got a clear window to look through, you try look. If it rains and you're trying to look out the window, you can't see nothing out the window. The droplets of water just make the mesh become so... It really obscures your view. You can't see where the fuck the bus is, because the windows are obscured by this mesh. And when it gets wet, when the mesh gets wet, it just holds the water there, and you can't see out at all where you're going. So you end up missing your fucking stop because some fuckwit of a CEO wants to put their stupid product on the fucking window. I don't like that. And I refuse to sit next to those windows that have got it. It's my silent protest against capitalism. Capitalism gone bonkers, mad, stupid, crazy. And that's what they are. They're just terrible people that just want everything to be advertisements. Advertising space here, advertising space there. We're going to enlarge this. This will be our master copy. Advertising space on everything. It's so annoying. It so pisses me off. I really am sick to fuck of all this advertising bunk. Everything is just advertising. Fucking advertising space. Like the song by Robbie Williams. I'm sure he's pretty pissed. And it's actually a very soulful song about advertising space, whatever. It's just so... I just can't believe how angry I get with these fucking rich people. Oh, they're so fucking piss me off. They really do. They're so fucking... I just got no respect for them. I just want to totally deride them, not derail them. I wish I could derail their fucking... whatever. It's just shit. It's just fuck all shit. And they put ads everywhere, so it shouldn't be a surprise that it ends up on the back of your fucking shopping docket. They call it a shop-a-docket because obviously you can go shopping for things on the back of your docket. So it makes sense that they call it a shop-a-docket. So, but it's like everything's just advertising, fucking advertising. There's nothing I can fucking do about it. I just want to be able to see out the bus window and enjoy my view and know when to get off. So yeah, I'd rather not sit next to those stupid windows. Anyway, that looks quite interesting. It's not the greatest looking piece of work. I'm wondering if we're going to just enlarge it a bit that way. Yeah, it looks pretty backgroundy. You can see the what's on the back of the Shop-a-docket. It's a real ugly looking... Didn't work as well as I'd like it to. So now we're just going to make the Y just a little bit bigger than the X. So we're going to make it 130. Going to make it 134. It's only going to be a little bit of distortion on this. So this is an interesting experiment. I've done these before. I've worked with Shop-a-dockets before. This is going to make hopefully a really good mirror image. So this is it. We've gotten rid of that rough edge on this one. So now we can start making our work of art. So you can see here, yeah, he looks pretty dark, as in the background is really dark. There's a lot of background here and everywhere. But anyway, this will be our first quadrant. We're going to print off another just like it. But yeah, you got to expect the quality to look shit when you're blowing it up this big and it's off a Shop-a-docket. The printing ink is not all that great either. Sort of low quality sort of work. It's like a lo-fi effect almost. I think you could call it lo-fi, low fidelity. Yeah. So that looks really interesting. But hey, it looks interesting. A lot of photocopier art does tend to look a bit rough anyway. And that's just adds to the charm of it, I think. If I was doing this on a computer, I scanned it in, I'm sure Photoshop could do a clearer, superior job on this original. But we're not working with Photoshop, and I don't use Photoshop. I use this photocopier, not Photoshop. But don't get me wrong, I still appreciate Photoshop, and it looks like I wouldn't mind having a bit of fun with it. But basically, I've committed myself to doing this. So, but Photoshop still has a place, and they use it a lot in advertising, of course. It's such a powerful tool. It's been going on for decades, probably, yeah, more than 2 decades, I think. It's been going on since the early 90s, or maybe even the late 80s. But yeah, we're just going to put these together. Oh, I just got my sleeve nudging it. Sorry, folks. I thought there was a big gap there. Wondered why it was being nudged. I think I nudged it too much. It's a bit curly again. Sorry, folks. But there you get your drift. This is now, I don't know, it looks okay. It's not the greatest, but it's worth a try, I guess. Gotta go.